So today we're in our final section of chapter 12, section 6, volume of cylinders. One more formula to learn. One more. Formula equals, is V equals pi r squared h. Pi r squared h, where r stands for, what do you think? The radius. And h stands for the height. All right, r for radius, h for height. And what do I use for pi? 3.14. Okay, so we're just going to make our substitutions. Write down your formula. I should see that at the top of your notes. All right, we're going to make our substitutions into that formula. So V equals 3.14 times 2 squared times 3. All right, you see what we're doing there? We're taking our radius and we're plugging it in for r. But then we have to square it first and then multiply by height. Well, can I do this step in my head? 2 squared. What's 2 squared? 4. So just go ahead and mentally multiply by 4. You don't have to write this step, okay? So this step is not necessary. Can we do this part in our head and just say, yeah, that's 4? Of course we can. So then when we multiply it out, on your homework tonight, I'm just going to tell you across the board, just round to the nearest whole number. All right, so if I round to the nearest whole number, 38. It would be 38. 37.7 or just 38. All right, I just think it's easier if I say round to the nearest whole number. On some of these, I'm not really testing you on rounding. I'm more testing you on being able to use your formulas. All right, now I want you to try this one. Different dimensions, same thing, find the volume. All right, so make your substitutions. What did you get?
471.
You got 471. Okay, so that's how we find volume. Now in example 2, we're comparing. They give us 2 candles, and we need to find the volume of each one so we can compare which candle actually takes more wax to make. Which candle takes more wax to make. So go ahead and start working on these substitutions. Plug in the values into your formulas. So this is actually what value? What is this? The radius is 2. It gives you diameter. You have to use the radius. And it's going to do that on your homework too. So you got to catch it. Since your formula calls for radius, you have to plug in the radius, which in this case, yes, would be 2. All right, so they gave us diameter, but we had to plug in the radius, which is half of that. All right, and then when I multiply it out, what did I get? 100. Just round to the nearest whole number. All right, so now go ahead and find the volume of the second candle, the shorter candle. And then tell me which one takes more wax, the taller or the shorter. All right, so we make our substitutions. Okay, and then we multiply. And yes, the short candle is the one that takes more wax to make. All right, so this is actually, guys, this is our answer. All right, that's our answer, short candle. Now, you can't just say short or tall. You actually have to show your work and show how you got to that answer. So you can't just guess. All right, does that make sense? So on your homework questions like this, make sure you show your work and then actually answer the question. All right, now example 3. In example 3 now, we are finding a different part of the formula. So now in this example, we're given, let's see, it says I don't know the radius, the height is 9 feet, and I know that my volume is 706.5 feet cubed. So now, clearly, what am I solving for? What am I solving? I'm solving for r. So I'm going to make my substitutions. 706 goes in for V, 0.5, equals 3.14 times r squared, because I don't know it, times my height of 9. All right, so I can simplify though, and just like we did in our lesson yesterday, I can simplify everything around my variable. So what's 3.14 times 9?
28.6.
Okay, so 706.5 equals 28.26 r squared. Now how can I get r by itself? Divide both sides by 28.26. 28.26. All right, and when I divide it, what do I get? 25 equals r squared. But is that my answer?
No.
What do I have to do? Square root both sides. So my answer is r equals 5 feet. Do I cube my label? Do I have to cube it? It's radius. It's radius. All right, any questions? Okay, so I want you to do one now. This time, I don't know radius. Again, but this time my height is 5 inches. And my volume is 251.2 inches cubed. Okay, so making our substitutions, 251.2 equals 3.14 times r squared, which I don't know, times 5. What was 3.14 times 5?
15.7.
Okay, it's what now?
15.7.
15.7 r squared. And then when I divide both sides by 15.7, what do I get?
16.
All right, and then r squared equals 16. And what do I do?
Square root.
Square root it. And what's my answer? R equals 4 inches. All right, who got 4? All right, and if you understand that, that's everything you need to know for our final lesson in Chapter 12.